Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but a good Chodesh, a Chodesh Tov. We hope everyone is well, Shavua Tov, and we are up and running. So today's learning, guys, is dedicated in memory of Leah Bas Bible, Binyamin Akiva ben Shlomo, Rav Yaakov Tzvi ben David Aryeh Sachs, Tzipora Begel Bas Rubora, Paul Kazimir, Shalom ben Elali, Beina Bas Bible from Moshe Shanda Bas Yaakov Shmuel, Caleb Bela Bas Henoch, Yirmiyahu Chia ben Moshe Eliezer, Sarah Malka Bas ben Yomin, Shlomo Yechia ben Yeshua Levi, Avram Mordechai ben Moshe Katna, Aryeh ben Shimon, as well as the yortzites for today, which are quite a long list. Pesach Simcha ben Chaim Gold, Abraham ben Shlomo Moshe, Paul ben Shmuel Phillips, Mary Cable, Rachel Bas Leibish Leon, Herschel ben Aaron Zimbalist, Shmuel ben Shimshon Samson, and Devorah Sana. It's unbelievable, as we all know, sometimes the way these things work out. I just read out the yortzeit for Stefan Gold, Zechrona Livracha, of course we all remember with such fondness, and I got a text last night from Zach Gold, the son of Stefan, to say that they had a baby boy. Isn't that unbelievable, the way the Hashgacha, the divine providence goes? Wish Mazel Tov to Jillian, to Zach, and all the family. Mazel Tov. Okay, so let's learn some Mishnah together. I don't know if you'll like this one. Okay, but let's go. Anyways, we're back in Shul. We had 2 minyanim over Shabbos. We also had a bar mitzvah over Shabbos. Bar mitzvah next week. Everything is happening. Trying to keep the physical and the virtual community going at the same time. Challenging to be in 2 places at once. Anyways, we'll do our best. It goes like this. Rebbe Tzadok says, Al tifrosh min hatzibur. Don't separate yourself from the community. Are we all listening? Don't separate yourself from the community. And don't judge do not act as a lawyer. In other words, when you are a judge, you have to be impartial. You have to be in a position of neutrality. Therefore, you can't take any one side. You have to try and take your biases out of the equation. And he says, do not make the Torah a crown for self-glorification, nor a spade with which to dig. Also, Hillel says, we're going to explain it afterwards. Somebody who exploits the crown of Torah for personal benefit, what happens? He's going to fade away. It's a very harsh warning. Somebody who seeks personal benefit from the words of Torah removes his life from the world. It's quite startling when we hear these words, but we have to understand them. Okay, good morning and a good Chodesh in no particular order, but it is an order that it came up on my screen to Mervyn, Caroline, Rachel, Harry, Peter, and Estelle, and everyone else. I apologize for the delay. Firstly, there was the Rosh Chodesh group, and then we had Rosh Chodesh and davening in Shul, and everything's been delayed. But we are here now, and that's the important thing. Says this Mishnah. Now let's explain it, okay? So, al tifrosh min hatzibur. Why shouldn't you separate yourself from the community? Why do you think? Well, firstly, because a community is only a community if everyone comes together. The sum is greater than the total of the parts, right? And therefore, first and foremost, we have a duty to be a part of a community, not just when it suits us, but even when it doesn't suit us, because that is what a community is. A community is, we know the word Bet HaKnesset means together. Kehillah also means together, right? Kehillat Yaakov. And the idea is that being part of something bigger than ourselves means that I'm there through thick and thin. I don't pick and choose when it suits me. Okay, there's another reason. When we daven, and listen to this, good morning, Helen, good morning, Richard, Ricardo's arrived, and Estelle, and everyone else. So it goes like this. When we pray on our own, or when we approach God on our own, then God looks at us as an individual, right? All of us have deficiencies, right? And therefore, we are going to be, when we are asking for something, God will judge us based on our merits and our inadequacies, our frailties, our deficiencies, right? What happens when we link up with the community? So there is this new entity. We no longer seen as an individual. We become part of the community of Woodside Park, and we pray in that way. And therefore, it means that whereas as an individual, you may find yourself being hindered and hampered and held back by certain inadequacies that we have in terms of things that we've done wrong, weaknesses, whatever it may be. When we link up with a community, we become greater, because now God doesn't look at us as an individual, he looks at us as a whole, and as a whole we complement each other, and therefore we are able to cancel out any weaknesses that we have in ourselves. Any of those frailties are cancelled out because we complement each other, and therefore that's another important element to communal prayer and to being part of a community. So many examples. If you go to Prague, you go anywhere where we've been on short trips, and you'll recall about the communal aspects, the communal infrastructure is just mind-boggling. We're going back 500, 600, 700 years, and already there was a Gemach, there was the Chesed Fund, there was the Chevra Kedisha, there was everything that we take for granted, right? And even then they took it for granted, were things that outside the Jewish community simply did not exist. It was each man or woman for themselves, right? It was very much a self-interest society, but that's not. We built, long before the NHS, long before the welfare state, the Jewish community, as a result of this statement, you've got to be part of a community, and part of a community is in all aspects of life. And sometimes it's we gain from it, and sometimes we don't. And it doesn't matter. That's what it means, that I'm in it through thick and thin, whether it's for my personal benefit or whether I'm just there to benefit others. So before we come to Pesach, there are so many opportunities to approach Woodside Park Cares and say, I'm willing to volunteer. I'd like to do a run. Maybe there's somebody local who contacts Woodside Park and needs pharmaceuticals and needs a pickup of some food before Pesach. They're scared of going to the shop, they haven't had the vaccine, whatever it may be. So many opportunities, or just to make a phone call, or just to befriend people in your own. Please make the most of the opportunities. Then the other thing that we goes on to say is that a person who's in a position of authority, be it as a judge or be it as just part of the community, we have to make sure that we are impartial when we are judging, that we are not taking our personal interest or the interest of others, the biases that we bring to the table, we have to leave behind. Otherwise, we can't be acting in the good of the community, which is what it's all about. The Gemara said, the Mishnah goes on to say, and this is where it concludes, and Hillel just really underlines the previous point, which is as follows: that we have to recognize that when we are learning or when we are engaging in the divine, it has to be without self-interest, without self-benefits, right? It's not that what can I get out of it? The self-glory, I want to feel good about this. It's got to be that I'm nullifying myself. I am literally divesting myself of any personal gain, and I'm there for God. I'm there for serving the community. I'm there to share the word of the beauty of Yiddishkeit with everyone. That is what this mission says. Okay, I apologize that we're a bit more rushed than normal, believe it or not. After this, it's also rather hectic, but please God, we'll keep going and growing, and we will get prepared and ready for the up and coming exciting festival of Pesach. Spring is on its way. I can see it in the air. I can see it in the trees. It's very exciting. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even as I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Adon Elamim Zocho Es Nishmos Ben Yom Akiva Ben Shlomo Le'Bas Bible Rav Yaakov Tzvi Ben David Aryeh Sachs the Parafegel Bas Baruch Hu Kazmish Ben Elili Ben Bas Bible for Shana Bas Yaakov Shmuel Kela Ben Bas Enoch Yom Yochir Ben Moshe Eliezer Sarah Malka Bas Ben Yom Shlomo Yichir Ben Yeshua Levi Avram Mordechai Ben Moshe Katna Aryeh Ben Shimon Yortzeit Pesach Simcha Ben Chaim Gold Avram Ben Shlomo Moshe Rav Ben Shmuel Phillips, Mary Cable, Rachel Baslebish Leon, Herschel Ben Aaron Simbalist, Rose Ben Shimshon Samson, and Deborah Sana. Shakul Yalamam Bagan Aiden Taimunu Khasam Lachim Barakamim Yasivim Sitakana Fabli Alamim, Yesos Hassan Shasamadna, Nachlasam, Yanuk Bishamish Kavam Lamar, Amen. Lastly, before Shlema prayer. Hope everyone is keeping well though. Misha Berach Avaseinu Avram Yisrael Yaakov Moshe Aaron David Shlomo Yivarach Rav Pesach Chaylim Babu Shanu Mispalim Babu Ram Pesach Zakadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachman Leim Menachem Nefosam Yishlach Leim V'Shlim Neshmayim L'Chorim B'Sof Shachal Yisrael Refuas HaNefesh V'Sakov Hashvach Yismach Amar Amen. Refuah Shlema to everyone. A reminder that in the midweek, because we are back to the physical shore and everyone's back to work in one way or another, therefore it's at 6:45 in the morning on Facebook and YouTube. And on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's at 7:15 a.m. But there will be an opportunity to catch up because it's always there. So if you can't make it early in the morning, please join us later in the day when it suits. Have a great day. Look after yourselves and a good Chodesh and